coming to our stage reading. For those of you who have not been to a stage reading, it's really very simple. It's the actors are reading from a script, kind of like this. They didn't have to memorize lines. That's really cool. That's the best part of stage reading. But hopefully they'll be putting in all the emotion and tell you guys a story. So we are doing this with Expand the Canon, and we have Emily Lyon here from Expand the Canon. So I would like to ask her to say a few words about the organization and why they chose Mahasweta Devi for a reading. So Emily.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Emily Lyon, she, her, hers. I am the artistic director of Hedwig Ensemble, and we do Expand the Canon. So we are a sort of feminist classical theater company that about 5 or 6 years ago discovered there are so many more plays by women through history than we ever knew. And we really want to advocate and celebrate for those plays and have those be added to the canon of classics. Mahasweta Devi is an incredible writer with an incredible story, and I didn't know about her, even though I have a theater degree, until we were doing this research. So thank you so much for being here to fall in love with this play and this text and this story. We actually have 36 plays that we love. We have an internal database of over 8,000 that we're reading and getting through. But every year we choose about 9 that we think are fantastic, and they span 1640 to 1980. So there's a lot of women and non-binary folks through history that we should know about, that we should celebrate, and that really deserve to have their legacies known and uplifted. And Mahasweta Devi is definitely one of them. And we fell in love with this particular play because, you know, in the specific is the universal. And this play is so beautifully specific about the particular time period she's writing about. And yet, as the play goes on, I think you'll discover what we found, which is that it's unfortunately very relevant to so many places around the world right now. Hopefully not here. Let's all cross our fingers and remember to vote. But we're so excited that this important story gets added to the stories that we know here in the US and in the Western canon, because if people in India know it and uplift this incredible activist, writer, and human being, we should too.
Thank you, Emily. And actually, I wanted to say that Mahasweta Devi is a Bengali, but I don't know whether outside of Bengal she was known that much. So it's not just, you don't have to feel bad because you're West and you didn't know. I don't know whether even people in India know much about her, but you know, she was popularized by Govind Nihalani for this particular mother of 1084, which was Haajaar Churashir Maa. So before we get into the reading, I just wanted to say a few things about Mahasweta Devi. Number one, and most importantly, she was born on January 14, 1926. January 14 is my birthday. Everyone remember that I wasn't born in 1926 though. A little bit later. And she has written over 100 novels and short stories. She's a tireless activist for the indigenous people, you know, and marginalized communities in the Adivasis in West Bengal, Bihar, Orissa, Jharkhand, you know, so the writing in this particular Mother of 1084, the backdrop is the Naxalite movement. Those of you were in Kolkata, that was time it was called Calcutta, but you might remember the turmoil that happened. So she's not documenting the Naxalite movement as such. She is putting that as a backdrop, and through the eyes of Sujata Chatterjee, Sujata Chatterjee loses her son Broti to a police encounter, and then she tries to understand why Broti joined this movement. And I think we can all relate to that who have children, that why do our children join a movement or join a cause? You know, sometimes we don't know. It could be a cult, it could be a cause, whatever. Right now we protesting for Gaza, and so there is some kind of empathy that why people protest, but parents might say, oh, why are you wasting your time? You've gone to university to study, you must finish your degree, right? So I know when I was in JD, my father said the same thing, that you should not protest so much. Anyway, so she's an amazing, she got many, many awards for her, not only her literary contributions, but also her humanitarian contributions, the Gyanpith Award, the Sahitya Natak Academy, the Raman Magsaysay Award. So many, it's amazing how much she's done, and she's a very, very kind of a humble lady, and I discovered her when I did water last year, I think. I don't know, that was my first introduction to water, to Mahasweta Devi, where she again wrote about Dalits. So I think we have everyone seated. I think we will ask you to sit back and immerse yourself in this story, Mother of 1084. So without further delay, Bad Company along with Expand the Canon presents Mahasweta Devi's Mother of 1084, translated by Shamik Bandyopadhyay. Thank you.
Scene 1, the call. The stage is dark as the curtain rises. We hear voices.
17 January 1970.
17 January 1970.
A telephone rings as an early morning glow spreads over half of the stage. Sujata walks in. We hear the impersonal voice of an officer.
46001.
Yes.
Dipinath Chatterjee's house.
Yes.
Who are you?
Mrs. Chatterjee.
Mrs. Dipinath Chatterjee.
Yes. Who are you?
Is there no male member in the house?
Still sleeping. Who are you?
What is Broti Chatterjee's relationship with you?
Son.
Son? Come to Kantapagur.
Kantapagur?
Yes. You have to identify Broti Chatterjee.
The connection is cut off at the other end. The receiver slips from Sujata's hand. Dipinath and Jyoti enter.
What's the matter? Who was it?
I don't understand.
What don't you understand?
Ma,
I need the card. I am going to Chaudhuri. Jyoti, you ring up doctor and tell him, no, why don't you go there straight away?
You talk of going to people, but why? Broti?
Jyoti, there still may be time. Isn't there a relative of your mother-in-law's in the police?
A maternal cousin.
Okay, go, ring him up. Chaudhuri must help us. To hush it up. He had warned us.
What will you hush up? What are you talking about?
Jyoti, there is no time to waste. Ekhuni jao.
Jyoti!
Jyoti is busy dialing a number.
Jyoti! Jyoti, what's happened?
Broti,
Jyoti, what is Kata Kukur?
the police. Morgue.
Police? More?
Yes.
So that's what your father has to rush to Chaudhary about. But Broti? Who will go to Broti?
We'll go there, Ma. A little later.
Later.
The stage goes dark. Sujata's voice over the darkness.
Jyoti and Jyoti's father are rushing about the place to hush up the news. And so, I'm all alone.
Scene 2. Lights go up on the other half of the stage. A police station morgue. Bodies are covered with white sheets. The officer in charge on duty is present. The dome sits near the bodies. We hear a woman wailing. Bring him back to me, so I can hold him close to me. One last time,
Broti, yes, Broti Chatterjee. Yes, the third body from the left. Yes. Height 5'10", isn't that so?
Yes.
Complexion fair.
Whose?
Your son's. Broti Chatterjee's.
Where is Broti?
Any identification marks?
On the throat. There's
Yes.
a mole on the throat.
Yes.
The dome lifts the sheet from the feet to the neck, but leaves the face covered. Sujata touches the edge of the trousers, but removes her hand almost at once in terror as she touches blood. All the time she goes on shaking her head and repeating, "No!
No!
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 No!" She raises Brati's hand, stiff, the fingers clutching at something. She reaches to uncover Brati's face.
No, don't uncover the face.
I must see the face.
What's there to see, mother? There's nothing left.
As she tears off the sheet, we do not see Brati's face. His head lies back at an unnatural angle.
Broti? 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 I'll take him home.
No.
Can't I take him home?
No.
No?
No, you won't get the body.
I won't get the body.
No, you 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 won't get the body.
Scene 3, the present. Tuli's engagement day morning. The curtain rises on a dark stage with the telephone ringing.
17 January 1972.
17 January 1972.
It's the 17th of January again. And 2 years have gone by. The phone rang again, early this morning on Broti's birthday. Nondini? Yes, this is Broti's mother. Okay, I'll come. Right at 4 o'clock then? No, I'm not going to the bank today. It's Tuli's engagement today. No, they didn't ask me when they fixed the date.
All through the dialogue on the telephone, Nandini's voice sounds metallic, indecipherable. A short pause before the lights up. Tuli, Sujata's youngest daughter, sits alone at the dining table, impatiently. Sujata enters with a glass of fresh lime juice in her hand. She appears to be in pain.
No tea for you.
No, lime juice.
Why? Is the pain bad?
Took a Beralgan in the morning.
I just don't see why you have to put it off. Removing the appendix is no operation at all. There's no risk in it.
Not always. I'm anemic with a bad heart. The doctor doesn't feel sure. was 16. That is no reason why she shouldn't offer flowers and water to the gods in her prayer room.
You won't understand.
No.
I know that.
You believe in this, Mommy, your future mother-in-law's guru. If that's no sham, why should Beanie's attachment to the prayer room be sham? You can be so mean as to laugh behind Beanie's back.
Didn't Proti laugh at other people's beliefs?
Proti's belief was so different from your belief in the Swami or Beanie's in the prayer room that it sounds utterly absurd when you drag his name into the same context.
The same thing again. You will react every time we mention Proti.
Yes,
Are we not worthy enough to pronounce his name?
the way you pronounce it, to hurt me.
Hurt.
To Tony and his crowd, to the others, you, your father, Jyoti, Nipa, the way you all speak his name as if Proti was a criminal.
Still harping on it.
Stop it, Tuli.
The jewelry from the vault?
I'll bring that.
Will you be home in the evening?
Why not? It's Broti's birthday today. If that didn't matter to you when you chose the day, I think I'll have to be there.
It was the Swamiji's decision.
Sure. Don't worry, I'll be there.
I hope you will behave normally with Tony's friends.
Have you invited Saroj Pal?
Yes. We don't know whether he'll be there.
Saroj Pal.
Sujata shuts her eyes. Inscriptions and shadows pass across the screen at the back of the stage.
Saroj Pal, bloody dog of the police. No forgiveness for you.
Quick promotion for Saroj Pal.
In recognition of his heroic role in the suppression of Naxalite revolt.
No, Mrs. Chatterjee, your son did not go to Diga. I know, I have a mother too. No, Mr. Chatterjee, it won't get into the papers. I'll make sure that. But we will have to search the house. This movement is a cancerous growth on the body of democracy.
All this passes through Sujata's mind. Tuli does not feel any of this. Sujata opens her eyes.
It's only natural to try to hush it up when something like this happens.
But that soon? Even before the body's been identified? A father gets the news on the telephone and doesn't even think of rushing to have a look. All that he can think about is that he'd be compromised if his car went to Katapukur.
That's only natural.
Roti was dead to all of you long before. Isn't that so?
You've always been so possessive about Proti. And even now,
Stop it, Tuli.
Tuli tinkles her spoon against her cup. Sujata watches her. We hear her thoughts.
With Broti, they have cast me out too in the opposite camp. If Broti had been like Jyoti, or a drunkard like Nipa's husband Amit, or a hardened fraud like Tony, or had run up after typists like his father, he would have belonged to their camp. Tuli, you'll be happy in life.
Scene 4. The present. Same day. The curtain rises on Shomu's house.
I went to Shomu's mother in the afternoon. One can now visit the colony. There's no disturbance anymore. No terror, no sirens, no gunshots, no screaming young men, no... It was the second time I visited Shomu's mother. I didn't know Broti well enough. Shomu's mother knew him better. When I visit her, I find Broti.
A part of the stage lights up. Shomu's mother and Sujata are face to face.
My daughter tells me, don't cry, will he ever come back? She says, think of Partho's mother. Partho can never come back home. If he comes back, they will kill him too.
Even now,
Even now, Didi, thousands of them, young men, all homeless, all those families banished from their colony. He is one sick at heart even to think of them. I can't think anymore.
aren't things quiet now?
Quiet, Didi. How can things be quiet when the mothers' hearts are burning like bodies on fire? My daughter too burns. Not easy to give tuition and earn enough to feed two souls, mother and daughter. And what can I tell her? All the attention we paid to Shomu, we never had time to look at her schooling, and Shomu had to leave us behind all at sea.
Don't cry.
That's what they tell me. Don't cry, Ma, don't cry. I can't forget.
I know.
Didi, your Broti lifted his life up. He had come that day to warn Shomu and his crew. They had got wind that the four of them were there in the colony, and there was fear that they wouldn't survive the night. Broti came and asked, "Where's Shomu, Mashima?" I said, "Why?" He said, "I have a message for Shomu, and I'll leave right now."
Was it evening then?
Yes, I had just lit the evening lamp, and I told him, "Shomu has gone out to call Vijit and the others, and they'll all be here eating tonight because Shomu had bought fresh atta, and I'm making chapatis for all of them." They came along as we were speaking, and they started talking to Broti. And then Broti said, "Can I go now?"
Then?
Shomu asked him, "Why? Are you dying to get killed? Stay here tonight." I joined in too, Devi. I said, "Don't go, dear. Stay here for the night." They were killing the young men of the locality itself. A stranger would have been a surer target. Who knows, Devi? Maybe if he had left that night, he would have survived. They didn't live the night. It's all before my eyes now. Shomu, Vijit, Partho, Broti, lying on a tattered mattress in our crumbling house, talking and laughing.
The other boy, Laltu?
Laltu. They dragged him out of his house.
This room.
The only one we have, Didi. All the strain Shomu's father put into it. Poor shopkeeper, no savings. Timid man all his life, never learned to cheat. Anyway, that night the two of us stayed awake. We thought we'd wake them up before daybreak, and they too hadn't gone to sleep. And the way Broti laughed, Didi. Your Broti's laughter still rings in my ears.
Broti used to come here often.
Oh, so often. He'd come here and say, "Mashima, a cup cha, Mashima, a glass of water, please." My Shomu, he was rough. Those who get kicked about by all and sundry turn rough in the process.
Were all the boys from around here?
All from the colony, Didi, either from this part or from the other. Laltu was the best of them. It was he who drew them all into this. He died for it.
I hadn't ever seen them. Broti had never brought them home. I wasn't home all the time.
You're a working woman, Didi, and you have a rich home. But I wonder why Broti chose such a course. And did you ever realize what he was up to?
No, I didn't know. He was home the whole of that day. I realized later that he had been waiting for a call. He knew that Shomu and his group would be returning to their locality, and there'd be danger the moment they returned. Onindo had been sent to them with the message. Onindo was supposed to warn Shomu and his group not to return to their locality and then report back to Broti.
Onindo? He didn't tell Shomu anything.
No, Onindo hadn't told Shomu anything. What Broti didn't know was that Onindo had already come to the locality and told the others that Shomu and his group would be coming back. I learned later that it was Onindo who had given the information, and they decided to do it in the night, not in the day. Onindo had informed the police station too, so that they wouldn't take any action.
Onindo. He sat here so many times, ate here, was so close to Shomu.
Broti was under the impression that everything was under control. Only when the call came through in the evening did he know that it was a disaster. Shomu and his group were back in the locality and they hadn't been warned.
Who was it on the phone?
I don't know. When the call came, I was home. Broti and I were playing a game of Uno.
The part of the stage in which Sujata stands goes dark before she finishes. Scene 5, flashback. Day before Broti's birthday, Sujata's home. Lights come on as Sujata crosses over. Broti enters with the Ludo board.
জীবনে কি পাবো না ভুলেছি সে ভাবনা জীবন জীবনে কি পাবো না, ভুলেছি সে ভাবনা, সামনে যা দেখি জানি না সে কি আসল কি নকল শোনা, যদি সব ছাড়িয়ে দুটি হাত বাড়িয়ে হারাবার খুশিতে যাই শুধু হারিয়ে, যদি সব ছাড়িয়ে দুটি হাত বাড়িয়ে হারাবার খুশিতে যাই শুধু হারিয়ে, যেতে যেতে কারো ভয়ে থমকে দাঁড়াবো না, সামনে যা দেখি জানি না সে কি আসল কি নকল শোনা। Hey, I killed your piece.
You
Take
killed
it off.
again?
Yeah, it was a close one. Didn't you kill mine?
Roti? Who's Nandini?
Why?
Won't you tell me?
Young woman.
Will you let me have a look at her someday?
She's okay.
So what? If you like her, I like her too.
Ma, do you know where the boss goes every evening after office?
Does Broti know of the typist?
Ma, do you have to bear a lot for me, don't you?
No, Broti. Bear a lot for you? Oh no.
Don't they bully you a lot over me?
Let them.
Why do you bear it, Ma?
It hurt once, but it doesn't any longer. It hasn't hurt from the time you came. Because you are there.
Because I'm there.
Oh, let it go. You tell me what you'll have for dinner tomorrow.
Why? What's special about tomorrow?
Don't you remember? It's your birthday tomorrow. It's 12:30, so it's tonight actually. But date-wise, it's tomorrow. What a strange system, really. You were born on the 16th, but just because it's past midnight, it becomes the 17th.
How can you remember birthdays?
How can I not remember? I was almost dying when you were born.
Lucky you didn't.
Let me go tell him about the milk.
Why?
I must make a little pie for you tomorrow.
And what else?
I'll give a shadi to him.
Hey, it's not him's birthday.
I must give her something. The care with which she brought you up. And you'll make a big fuss if I give you anything.
Well, that must have been both.
I'm not giving you anything. Speedy is going to give you a new shawl. You stuck too long to my ancient tattered one. You won't give it up. You won't even give it for a wash.
Hey, how would Bodhi know how cozy this is?
I'll be back in a minute. Let me go and tell him about it.
As the telephone rings, Roti jumps up, rushes to the telephone, and lifts the receiver.
Hello? Yes, it's Broti speaking. What did you say? Shomu and his group have left. On Indo? Okay.
He places the receiver back on the desk. He clenches his fist, opens it. He shakes his head. He's agitated. He takes a scrap of paper out of his pocket, lights it up with a matchstick, and lets it burn to ashes, and then rubs the ashes to dust with his feet. He takes out coins from his pocket and counts them. Sujata enters.
What's the matter?
I have to go. Can you give me some money?
Where are you going? Didn't you tell me you won't go? You said you'll stay home.
Something important. Suddenly.
Here's the money for you. When will you be back?
I'll be back. I'll be going to Alipur, Ma. I'll stay at Ronu's if it gets late.
So there's no danger.
What do you mean by danger?
How would you know? You never have time to read the papers. All that's going on in Calcutta. Young men from one locality aren't allowed these days to visit a different locality. They get killed if they do. Ronu's neighborhood is the same.
Don't worry if I'm late.
Do you care if I worry or not?
Hey, I'm off.
Ask him to close the door.
I'll ask her.
Roti stands for a while, watching Sujata, and then goes out with a smile. Sujata stares and follows him out. She crosses over to Shomu's house, where she had begun telling the story. Scene 6. Back to the present, to Shomu's mother and Sujata.
That's it? You couldn't have known? There's no way a mother can send One's son to his death knowingly.
What happened that night?
Shomu's mother goes back into the past, gripped by the terror of that fateful night.
It was still a while to midnight. A nightmare. Still seems like a nightmare. It was not midnight yet. And they'd surrounded our house already.
Scene 7. Flashback, Shomu's house. The day of betrayal. It is dark on this side of the stage. On the other side, beams of light crisscross like arrows clashing. Sujata goes out. Shomu's father, Broti, Shomu, Pijit and Partho enter. The whole stage is now enveloped in a red glow. Broti and his group occupy one end of the stage. Mob enters from the other end. Even as the groups move towards one another, they play out their awareness of a space for the house.
Come out, Shomu!
Wasn't that Akhar Babu's voice?
Yes, yes, and there is Madan Muktiar too.
Come out, Shomu! Or we'll set the house on fire! Come out, Bilji! Come out, Partha! Or we'll burn up the whole lot of you!
Let me go first. If they get me first, maybe we can take a chance and try and run away.
Let me go and see the backside of.
Come out! Come out!
No!
It's of no use, son. They are on all sides.
Come out!
There's no point in going out alone. There's no chance of escape. Let's go out together. Let's get out fast then. Otherwise, they will set this house on fire. Mother Muktiar has set several houses on fire already.
Come out! You claim you are not scared of death? Then why do you hide in your hole?
Don't shout! Wait a bit. We're coming out.
The bastards have got a new one. Come out! Kal ka teka bachcha!
Don't go, Shomu, don't go! Don't go, Shomu!
Don't go, Shomu, don't go, Shomu!
Stop whimpering! Stop whimpering! Baba, get hold of her. Don't let her go. Let us get out or they will set this house on fire.
Shomu's mother, now utterly helpless, faints. Shomu and Broti are weaponless.
Let's go, Broti. We shall overcome! We shall overcome! Long live Channel Maa! Long live Channel Maa!
They've taken them to the fields. Listen. They've taken them to the fields. I'll go and call the police. They'll surely be alive when they come. I'm sure they'll come.
Lights go out. The stage goes dark. When the lights come on again, Shomu's mother and Sujata are face to face.
Shomu's Baba ran all the way. He had such faith in the police, but they wouldn't even take down his complaint. They didn't do a thing. They only sent their vans when it was all over to collect the dead bodies. When it was all over, he had run to the police headquarters at Lal Bazaar too. They didn't do a thing. Is there no justice in the world? Oh God, is there no justice in the world?
No, there's no justice.
Shomu's Baba kept saying that till he was dead. Didi, you have yet another son who can still hold him close to you and forget your grief. I lost my son, Shomu. I lost my son's father. And I hope this wretched life of mine have to live on forever. Funeral fires burning within me.
I know.
Sujata Devi, I have something to tell you.
Yes?
They threatened my daughter because you come here.
Shomu's elder sister. Who threatens her?
Those who killed Shomu and his friends, who else?
The same crowd.
They tell her, why does she come to your house? Forbid her. It'll be dangerous for you otherwise.
What do you mean?
Hurts, Didi. But we can't annoy them and stay here. Shomu's sister, she cannot get a job in a school. She's always in a temper. She's always angry at me. All this for that no useless son of yours. They won't let me work.
I have gone on with my job.
You are rich, Didi. There's no comparison between you and us.
Fine. I'll never come again. There's just one thing.
What
the day Broti died, it was his birthday.
The curtain drops on the two facing each other. Scene 9, the present. Sujata meets Nandini at her house.
Grief had brought Shomu's mother and me together one day. Time has split us apart again. I used to go to Shomu's house to find him there. I won't be going there again. Where else is he? Where I'm not? I went to Shomu's house early afternoon, and later the same day I came to Nandini. Broti loved Nandini.
The curtain goes up with only a part of the stage lit up. Nandini and Sujata sit at a table. Nandini wears dark glasses. Everything about her gives the impression of a tight secretiveness, a self-imprisonment. When she speaks, she has the manner of a storyteller, as if she's speaking of other people, not herself, not about her own people. Nandini never softens, except when she utters the name Broti with tenderness. They sit in silence for a while. A glass of water is on the table. Sujata takes a Baralgan tablet out of her bag and swallows the tablet.
It was Anindo who betrayed us.
I don't know everything, Nandini.
Your not knowing doesn't change a thing.
That I know.
And yet, Broti, like a fool, trusted Anindo. Do you know why he trusted him?
No.
Because it was Neetu who had introduced Anindo. Neetu had been in many actions, and Neetu had been killed. It was simple arithmetic. Neetu had introduced Anindo, plus Neetu was dead, plus Neetu's death itself was proof of his integrity. Therefore, Anindo, who was Neetu's recruit, must be dependable. That's how we argued. We never judged, never made any inquiries. And yet we should have known.
What should you have known?
We should have known that they too had their program, just as we had ours. We had a cause, they too had theirs.
Cause, Nandini? Program?
Of course, a program of betrayal. That program was their cause.
But how?
Money, jobs, power, they didn't mean a thing to us. But these were the very temptations that seduced those who had joined us, only to betray us. You shouldn't underestimate the power of those temptations. That's why I never stopped wondering.
Wondering, Nandini?
Wondering why we hadn't provided for the possibility of people joining the party, only to betray us ultimately.
You were young.
No. It was an overdose of romanticism. We didn't have a clue about the reality. These were among the major failings of that time. Failings, mistakes, deviations. I still wonder how we could afford not to know that with all that has happened since 1947, all human loyalties had dissolved by 1970. I wonder how we could be unaware that they could betray us to kill us. I wonder how we could be shocked whenever we heard that behind an assassination there was someone closely related to the victim, a father, a brother, a relation, a friend, or an acquaintance. People think that we hate whatever exists. But someday, there'll be people who will say that behind all our apparent hatred lay a craving to love and to revere.
Why do you wonder?
You won't understand. Now when we look back, it all seems to have been a betrayal.
That's not the way to think, Nandini. It'll only make you suffer more.
Betrayal was rampant, but we hadn't been taught to be suspicious. When we began to suspect and could analyze our past experiences, only then could we become more confident of ourselves.
Nandini.
We thought we were bringing in a new era. Broti and I walked from College Street to Bhawanipur day in and day out, talking, just talking. Those days, there was sheer delight in talking and looking at the streets and the processions, in people, in the red roses at a street crossing, in the neon lamps, in watching the old Hindi songs on the radio. We could burst with delight. I'm not the same person anymore. An era has gone by. What I have been those days is dead forever.
Don't say that.
You, my mother, you all speak the same way. You will never understand because you never pledged everything we had for the cause of it all like we had.
No, we hadn't.
Broti used to tell me he had never seen a person as totally honest as you.
Did Broti say that?
Didn't Broti tell you?
No.
reactionaries make avowals of their sympathy for us, and in the process they spoil our image in the public eye. Betrayal. We are not allowed to use the press to explain our views, and yet there are all those journals that claim to be sympathetic to our cause. Betrayal. Every supposedly sympathetic piece tries to shrewdly and skillfully prove us adventurous romantics. Betrayal. Even when we were being killed, all the writers, all the periodicals were crying over Bangladesh. They had nothing to say about West Bengal. And the same ones now write lamentations about us. Betrayal. And within the prisons?
Betrayal!
Still, of course. Do you think they've stopped only because the newspapers don't report them? Arrests, torture, murders in the name of police encounters. A whole generation between 16 and 40 is being wiped out.
Don't tell me.
I loved Brooklyn.
I know. Leaves one so empty when you think of it, Nandini. Kroti was the soul of my life. Yet, I knew him so little.
Did you even try?
Is it a relationship where you have to try?
Everyone remains a stranger these days to each other. It's a crime to allow this to persist. It's an obligation to know one's child.
Is it an obligation for parents alone?
It's for you to take the first step. Isn't it your obligation to set a model for the younger generation to follow? Why do you demand loyalty by virtue of relationships? Why don't you try to earn it by virtue of your integrity? You won't be honest, you won't forge relationships, and then you put the whole blame on us.
I didn't say that.
So where do we reach? Roti came from a household of a certain kind. He hated his father. Shancharan, Bipu, Sharon came from a smart, high middle class. Shomu, Laltu, Bijit belonged to apolitical refugee homes. Moni and Kushal had parents involved in left-wing politics. But they all shared one common feature. The children and the parents were strangers to one another.
Did Roti talk about me?
Of course. He stayed back till the 16th of January only to honor your sentiments. Otherwise, he should have left for the base on the 15th.
Was it because he stayed back home that day?
He stayed back home for your sake, and he left home after I rung him up.
Was it you who rang him up?
Yes. I let Broti know the moment I had learned that Anindo had betrayed us, and that Shomo and his group had gone back to their locality. Broti could have passed the information over to Bijit on the telephone. That's what I'd expected him to do. I didn't think he would go himself.
When did you find out?
I was arrested the same morning. Anindo had betrayed our whole unit. I got the information firsthand from the police.
Then?
The prison, the solitary cell, the worst torture. Yes, the worst kind.
Nandini.
They carried out their interrogation in a dark room, alone, in the solitary cell. Then one day, I was called up to a different room.
The stage goes dark, Sujata goes up. Scene 10, police station. Lights come up on Nandini. In a chair, faces Saroj Pal in another chair. A glaring light stares Nandini in the face throughout the scene. Nandini fidgets from time to time, trying helplessly to rise to her feet, making it obvious in the process that her hands and feet are tied to the chair.
Nandini Mitra,
Yes.
the Shurja Kumar Mitra, lawyer at the Alipur Court, address 23 by 2 by A, Pony Gwala Lane, Kalighat.
Yes.
Residency College.
You have all the details.
Did you go to Digha with your classmates on the 12th of December?
Yes.
But you didn't go to Digha. You went out with the boys. There was no other girls in the group.
There were.
You went to have fun at Digha with a gang of criminals? Your father broke down at the Digha.
That's a lie.
So, you were at Digha.
Of course.
According to my reports, you were traveling by train.
No.
You were traveling by train from Kharagpur to Digha. But Deola was your actual destination. You and Moni were supposed to stay on at Deola and train the cars. The others were to come back. Moni and you had competed in the intercollegiate rifle competition, and you had vowed to train up the guerrillas in the villages.
No.
You were on the Sunshine brought the news that police were searching the bus. You stopped a truck on the highway and came back on 12th itself.
No.
If you had been in Liga for all the 5 days from 12, how could you go to Ritu Paul's house on the 13th?
I didn't go there.
But I have information that you were quite close to them. You go to Shauman's house to collect arms and you keep them forbidden. You write posters with Shonchoyan and carry messages from Kalighat to Jabalpur. You learn to manufacture pipe guns with Bartle and someone else, and yet you insist you don't know them?
Anindo.
Right. Anand, excellent child. He loves his country, his society. Who brainwashed you to join the party?
I won't say a thing.
Do you realize that your parents will have to pay for your stubbornness?
I won't say a thing.
Your friends, they have all left you to lurch. They are cooperating with us.
I don't believe you.
Why? You think they cannot be bought?
No!
You're quite a bore. Keep saying no, 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 repeating yourself. In college, you seem to have had much better range of vocabulary.
I don't want to hear anything.
Okay. Then look at these pictures.
Pictures?
Pictures from the police mall.
I don't want to see them.
Why do you not want to
I
see
don't
them?
want to see them.
Look, this is so.
No, not Shomo.
This is Bijiko.
And who else? Who else?
Broti Chatterjee!
No! Not Ruthie!
As she turns her head
Not
away violently,
Ruthie!
Sarojpal insistently holds the picture up before her eyes. Nandini goes on repeating.
Not Ruthie! Ruthie!
What was your relationship with Broti?
Stop it! Stop it!
What was your relationship with Broti Chatterjee? Was he a friend?
Bends closer to her, lights a cigarette, presses the lighted cigarette to Nandini's cheek.
What was your relationship with Broti Chatterjee? Was he a friend?
He puffs at the cigarette and then presses it again to Nandini's cheek. The questions and the patterns continue. The stage goes dark. Sarojpal rises and moves out. Sujata comes in and takes her seat. Scene 11. Lights come up, back to the present, as Sujata and Nandini continue talking.
Nandini? Nandini?
That was the beginning.
The beginning.
I won't be able to tell you all that happened after. The sores on my skin have healed, but I'll never be normal again.
Roti is no longer there, Nandini.
Not for that. Something else. After what I went through in prison, every man approaching me seems like a policeman.
Nandini.
You know, I sometimes wonder, shall I forget Roti too someday? I wonder all those deaths, all the bloodshed, were they all useless? All the rest, the killings and the bloodshed that continue, all that for nothing?
But it's all quiet now.
No, 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 no! It's never quiet. Nothing is quiet. Nothing's changed. Thousands of young men rot in prisons without trial. They're denied the status of politicals, and yet, you say, it's all settled down again. Torture continues with greater sophistication and more secrecy. And yet you say it's all quiet? All quiet? What do you need can't see you really. I can feel it. You're deeply concerned for me. Alone in the cell with a mind grown sharp like a dissector's knife, even when I don't see, I can feel what you're thinking.
After the treatment?
I don't know, but I'll never come back to this so-called tidy life. Someday you'll learn that I've been arrested again.
The clock strikes 6. Sujata looks at her watch.
It's time for me to leave.
Yes, it's your youngest daughter's engagement party.
I'll come again.
No.
No?
No. What do you gain out of coming here? You live with your past. I have to harness my present and think of my future.
I won't go to Shomu's mother again. I won't come to you. I won't go to the places where Broti exists. Maybe that's my punishment for not knowing Broti.
Your solitary self. Come, let me show you out.
Never mind. I'll find my way.
The curtain comes down on a dark stage. Scene 12. The curtain goes up, the present, same day, 17 January 1972. Tuli's engagement party. A party is in full swing.
The moment I saw the Swami, my dear, a light flashed within me. We sat in San Francisco airport and he said, "My dear daughter, meet me at Miami." Just think of it. How did he know I was going to Miami Beach?
Broti, I spent the whole day with you. I can't forget myself now to carry out my duties.
True. And from that moment itself, the Swamiji has been my guru. America has discovered the Swami just as it had once discovered Swami Vivekananda. And now India will recognize my Swamiji.
Nipa, the older daughter of Sujata, brings her a glass of water. Nipa appears to be drunk.
Must be paining a lot, na ma?
No.
I saw you were drinking ice cold water. Took a cold bath?
Broti's fingers, his eyelids, how cold they are to the touch. Nothing can be colder. I was with Broti the whole day.
How charmingly Mrs. Kapadia speaks, huh? Would you mind introducing me to her?
Oh yes, of course. Tuli, why don't you introduce him to Tony's mother?
You know, it's his birthday today.
Who would have thought from this family?
Misguided youth, I tell you.
Amit, Nipa's husband, comes up, sozzled.
Naughty, 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 naughty. What does our rebel poet have to say?
You are a poet?
Of course.
How
His
lovely.
poems are a homage to Broti and his entire generation.
Marvelous.
Can one write about anything else these days?
Bhima writes soft stuff on the 20,000 men rotting in the prisons. Nipa, steady.
I know.
When Broti died, he was whining over Bangladesh. Now, when everything's under control, he writes about them from his place of safety. Nipa, careful.
I know.
What do you know?
That friend of yours, he's a washed out poet. Did you blow him up as some rebel poet? Where was this rebel poet of yours when my brother was killed?
It is you who was ashamed of Broti, not me.
Liar!
I come from one of the best families around here. The Gangulis of Khidipur. I am not taking anything from a three-penny horse.
Amit! Nipa! Stop it!
You're funny, mother. Don't you know how much we enjoy these fights?
Have them at home. Not in public, please.
Mrs. Chatterjee hasn't been able to get over the death of your youngest son. It's the shock of his death, it seems.
No,
Nihalani, bad friends, mother's influence.
The mother's influence?
You don't know how close we were. The two of us.
I know, Tuli told us.
Like twins. With a father like you, that would be natural. It broke my heart when I heard the news. Naturally.
There's nothing to grieve about. The body dies, but the soul lives on. That's what my Swamiji said. It's only the body that dies. Your souls will meet again in heaven.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I will follow Swamiji. Hey, Shunjo, hey, did you hear this?
What?
The wonderful things they say.
I heard it.
Mrs. Chatterjee, whiskey?
No thanks. I don't drink.
Are you not feeling very well?
No.
Strange woman. Shouldn't tell me where she had been the whole day. When I asked her, she said, since I don't have the right to question you about your affairs, you two don't have the right to ask me anything.
Arey, ye kya baat hui? Strange.
That's how it is. Madam, in my eye.
What's the matter, Tuli?
Oh, there's a friend of Tony's outside.
Why don't you bring him in?
What's wrong, Ma?
It's the pain.
Why don't you sit down?
No, let me bring him in.
Sujata crosses the dark circle and takes a few steps before retracting violently with a muffled scream. She grips her throat to stop the scream from breaking forth. There's a stare of disbelief in her eyes. The dark circle is lit up the moment Saroj Pal, a badge flaunting DCDD, Deputy Commissioner Detective Department, on his chest, steps into it. Only Sujata hears what Saroj Pal had told her.
I have a mother too. No, your son never went to Diga. No, we will not leave these items in the house. What your son did, it's unforgivable. No, you won't get the body. I said no, you will not get the body.
Sujata and Saroj Pal face each other in silence.
Won't you come in?
No, I'm on duty. Mass action begins tonight in Varanagar and Kashipur. Mother of Trinity Fort. Mother of Broti Chatterjee. I knew I would have to face her. And that's why I didn't want to come. Please convey my best wishes to Tony and Tuli.
Saroj Pal goes out. Sound of a van outside starting and speeding off with a screeching siren. Nipa goes back to the dancing couples and everyone starts dancing.
Still in uniform. Still on duty. Mass action again in Borough. Still the Black Maria, the revolver in the holster, the helmeted policeman within the van. Where's the job this time? Where will the siren screech? Where will the streets resound to the pounding boots, the threatening van? Where will the bullets pierce the wind? Where again? Where will Broti run to? Where? Why don't you speak? Speak, for heaven's sake! Speak! How long will you endure it in silence? Where is the place where there's no killer, no bullets, no prisons, no vans? Where you can escape it all, Broti, in Calcutta, in West Bengal, from north to south, from east to west? You can't be on the run any longer, Broti. Broti, come back. I found you today, Broti. If the siren screeches again, if the vans race, if Saroj Pal chases another young man somewhere, we will be lost again. Corpses, stiffened corpses, all of you. And I myself, did Broti die so that you could carry on in your cadaverous existence, enjoying and indulging in all the images of the world? Do the living die only to leave the world to the
The end. Lights out, curtains.